How did life start for Lord Michael John Hastings?
It started in an extremely uninspiring, ordinary little town called Widnes. Now in Cheshire, I think it is, but I think it was back then in Lancashire. The boundary got removed. That's where my dear father and mother had chosen to move to. So my older brother, Daniel, was born in Humberside. And then they moved across England to the west side, and we located Widnes. My father was a dental surgeon, so he had a practice. I think it was 103 Albert Road, Widnes, and then we lived in a little private housing estate. I think we rented the house. I have no idea back then. But it was only at the age of 8 when my father said he wanted to go, as it were, quotes, back to Jamaica. He wasn't born in Jamaica. He was born in Angola. Of missionary parents, who then sent him and his brother and sister from Angola to school in England, then to university in Edinburgh to do medical practice, which all three of them did. One a GP, one a surgeon, my father a dental surgeon. And then they all went to practice in Jamaica. And then my father decided in 1966 that we would move from England back to Jamaica. So my life began in England, went to Jamaica, lived through the chaos, that then emerged 1970, came back to England 1972 to boarding school. Only ever went back to Jamaica for parental holidays. My father died in 1976 in a car accident in Jamaica, and then my mother died in 2010. So I don't have any root reasons to be back on the island other than the beach.
Which is never a bad reason.
Never a bad reason, and would be delighted. But a really serious commitment to engaging with people who are doing that kind of economic, social transformation work, whether it's in a Caribbean country or it's in a Southern African country, Sub-Saharan African country. Those are my sweet spots.
Good. And your CV does belie that. Because of course you do a lot in Kenya. And you do obviously a lot here. I would like to think at some point you will do a lot in Jamaica. We'll see what we can do. Just so that we can get you back to the beach.
Well, the Black Business Association of the London Chamber of Commerce is for black businesses of Caribbean or African origin. So we have a lot of Caribbean initiated UK businesses that are members. We're now around about 1,300 members, and when you go back to 2020 when we started, we were 0. So we've done pretty well to get profitable, established Caribbean African businesses in the UK working together to build a more effective presence for black business to be credible, investable, and then scalable.
So what were some of the formative experiences that really catalyzed what you're doing now? Because you are doing, I shouldn't say this, a hell of a lot.
Why didn't you say a heaven of a lot?
A heaven of a lot. I'm with
the
Lord, sorry. Got to behave myself. What were some of the early experiences that catalyzed that? And it's a leading question because when we met recently, we had lunch, and you said something to me which I think is quite profound. And you talked about seeing poverty at a very early age. I think it was to do with when you were in Jamaica. And there was something that you said which I'd love for you to share with us.
Well, so at the age of, I left Jamaica at 14 to go to boarding school in England, Scarisbrick Hall. Love it, still a great school, very proud to be associated with it. Wonderful years there, both for my brother and myself. But what I'd seen when Jamaica had a, best to describe it as complicated and inappropriate election, 1970, which had led to a political settlement that was unacceptable to the United States, let alone to the UK. And therefore there was industrial closure, very significant loss of employment, collapse in the currency, and poverty became endemic. And I witnessed that with my own eyes. And I also witnessed a lot of street violence, without going into detailed description, but serious street violence, because people were desperate. And in that desperation, and that was one of the reasons why our parents decided to send my brother and I out and back to the UK. They just wanted us away from it. However, the impressions of what you see and what you hear and what you know don't leave you. And they didn't leave me. And when I came to Scarisbrick Hall School, and a very dear friend said to me, what do you want to do with your life, however long your life is? And it just came right out of my mouth. I want to speak up for the poor. And I want to bend the power of the prosperous to the potential of the poor. And I said that at 16,
Yeah.
and I haven't changed it from 16 to 66. And it's what sustains me in my drivers every single day. The things I want to do, the things I want to support, the time I want to give are associated with people who are struggling with their status, needs, existence, pressure. I've been privileged. I've been facilitated an awful lot. I don't have those struggles, but I can empower others to have freedom. And that's why, to me, the work that I do, especially with people who are in prison, because they're locked out of recognition. They're just a number. Somebody else locks the door. They have no secured freedom. So I can use my platform, my presence, and my privilege to support them towards release. And that really is a way of moving the potential they have through the prosperous position I have to enable them to have freedom and dignity and acceptance.
Brilliant. Please say that again. Bend the
power of the prosperous to the potential of the poor.
That's your life in a nutshell, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It really is. And there's no despising those who are materially exceptionally prosperous.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
But what's a bad thing is this self-indulgent, self-contained, I got it, you haven't mindset. If I have it, I want to share it. I always say to the wonderful young men and women who are around me, because I know an awful lot of the wives and girlfriends as well, I always say to them that the only reason we're ever given anything is that we can give it away. And we have to realize that. Don't contain. Jesus made it so clear that if you want life, you have to give it away. If you try to hold on to life, you're going to lose it. Now that principle means that I've got to look at everything through that lens. What have I got to give away?
Yeah. That's that brilliant paradox, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Life comes from losing it.
The passion is so clear.
Yeah.